Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Chuck, and Riftbound is still a great place to be. Just super excited about the future of the TCG in general. Today we're going to be going over a lot of singles, just some recent sales, and just talking about kind of where I could see a lot of these going. We'll be finishing off with some sealed updates as well, so kind of a nice holistic snapshot. I think Sundays are going to be a good day for me, just with my schedule and everything going forward. Maybe we kind of finish off the week looking at kind of the market as a whole. But the market as a whole, Riftbound is still doing incredibly well. I do think, and I sense and I feel, especially with grading kind of shut down, I think Riftbound is finding a little bit of a new floor right now. I mean, things ran up so quickly. It's going to take a little bit of time for a lot of this stuff to move again in the future. But I think if you're investing or if you're collecting, there's going to be a lot of things that are good holds long term. You know, if you're expecting value of the things that you own to increase, I think a lot of the things we'll look at today will be somewhat decent. So, uh, and as always, if you have never been here before on this channel, or you have and you've watched a few videos and have enjoyed your time, consider subscribing. We're almost at 700 subscribers, which is pretty amazing. I really enjoy Riftbound. I plan on being here for a long time. Probably going to pick up the game. I did quit League temporarily. Um, it was just too toxic for me. But let's get started. RE signature PSA 10 sold 86.88. PSA pop 398. PSA 10 pop 355. Look, like, I think a big reason why a lot of the prices on these are just so expensive is partially because PSA is shut down. It doesn't make a ton of sense to grade a lot of things with PSA at the moment. I mean, I guess if you pull an RE signature overnumbered, you're going to be grading it, right? More often than not. Gem rates are really high. Origins is in the middle of a reprint. To be honest, it hasn't really impacted prices that much. They've been kind of trickling out product. But as it stands, this is one of the best signatures, maybe the best signature that has been created, in my opinion. Being Origins, being Ari, and being just a really unique art. You know, I don't see this getting too much cheaper in the future, but I think if you're interested in owning PSA 10 signatures, this is going to be one that you're probably going to want to own for the long haul. And I think if you're buying it, again, 355 pop, as the game continues to grow, man, oh man, there will be more in the future, but that is a pretty small amount. And I think Riftbound is one of the healthiest games in the TCG market right now. Player base is moving and grooving. There's stuff for collectors, stuff for, uh, you know, I would say stuff for investors, but there's different price points for cards, so they're just killing it. Another ultimate rarity, first ultimate rarity, Baron Nashor and Unleashed, selling best offer, 2,900. So, you know, it is a monster card, but this art is truly, truly phenomenal. And I always said Unleashed was like a little bit underrated with the Poros and Baron and some of the signatures in there, really, really strong. I think it's a pretty good set. And I think Unleashed is probably going to be a set that ages a little bit better with time. And the Baron, obviously, at the top, really, really cool card. And it's Baron, dude. Like, come on. Absolutely iconic, in my opinion. Metal prize wall cards continue to just be like S tier, just incredibly expensive slabs in the Riftbound world. I mean, they're prize cards you get from competing. I think you can actually choose which ones that you want. Of course, PSA 10 pops on these are gonna be really low going forward, but I can't imagine that they print the same ones over and over again. It's super unique, I think, in the TCG world, but it's, you know, but also in Riftbound, like top 26, and it's 10 like 3,500 for Ezreal. Who Ezreal to me is like a really popular champion. These things are going to stand the test of time. I think if you have prize wall cards, you should probably just hold on to them uh, and grade them if possible, even right now where PSA is at the moment. Switching gears, this is the overnumber volleyball. Sorry, my brain just stopped. A lot of these like overnumbers are just continuing to sell. I mean, overnumbers, I think there's like every few, was it every 3 cases or something? Or every 3 boxes. So it's actually quite hard to pull an individual overnumbered. But Volleybear definitely has like a pretty strong fan base, but for $200 at 10, I don't think it's like the worst buy of all time. And again, I think a lot of overnumbers are kind of finding some floors right now. Like this Lee Sin and a 10, $500. I think this Lee Sin is a absolutely incredible art. I think it's going to age really, really well. Obviously, the signature is preferable, but I think a lot of overnumbers have kind of caught up to their, intrinsic pull value a little bit more. And I think right now with Origins being in the middle of a reprint, like probably not a terrible time to pick up a number of these overnumbered. So I think this is a really, really phenomenal one. DGZ Timo selling between 37 to 4,000 in a 10. So definitely dropping in price a bit, which makes sense. This one doesn't even look like a 10. I guess it is. Maybe the lighting's just bad. A little bit of silvering on the corners there. Buy the card, not the grade, I guess. GGZ Timo is still a staple. I'm probably going to make a purchase on some Origins packs in the future. Just because they're going to be easy to store. They're going to be really cool. And I think with time, like give this a couple years, like, this is going to be a card that I think people wish they had more of. I was trying to buy them, a couple months ago, but they just kept increasing the price and I just was so unsure about it. Rip. Classic. Another signature, Darius. Again, like these, these Origins signature cards, like I think they're kind of iconic. I think even this one's like pretty solid. I would love to pull a signature one day. Still haven't pulled a signature, but that's okay. It'll happen eventually. That's a goal of mine between now and the end of 2027. I think that'd be sick. But yeah, again, pops are so low on these. $1,240 for a signature, I don't think is going to be that bad. This Yasuo card, this promo from MSI, 2026, you had to win in a raffle. You could win the Jinxon raffle, but I think the Yasuo is the harder one to get. I think for $200 sealed, like, I'm probably going to start buying a lot more of these. I'm sure there are ways to get these cheaper, but as long as they keep dropping, dude, like, this card is absolutely phenomenal. And I would love to grade them. So I'll probably start picking some up for sure here and there whenever I see a decent deal. Like this is a phenomenal deal for 4 Jinxes and a Yasuo for $270 plus shipping. I think that's a great deal in my opinion. So I'll be looking for deals on these for sure. So don't worry about those. I'll buy them. The Irelia pop 1,016, which is actually quite high for Riftbound. But still, $645. I still have mine in my little Riftbound grading pile. I will be sending it off at some point. I'm just still kind of trying to figure out if it's worth sending a PSA on a regular tier. I'm sure it is, but it just doesn't feel good. But I might as well. I should just do it, right? I mean, it's a $500 premium. But I still have a couple boxes. I plan on keeping them sealed. I only ripped one. So for me, I'm just, I'm unsure about ripping those. I think as the boxes continue to sell, they're just going to get really rare. I'm curious if the prices are going to actually start outpacing the PSA 10s of the Irelia. So I think the play is actually to grade these and sell them off now, and then maybe keep a few sealed. But I suppose if you're trying to make money and, churn that money, then you should just rip them and grade them because the gem rates are obviously pretty solid. So I don't know. And then I still have my launch exclusive Aries. I'm not going to be grading with Beckett, but this one sold for $898. It was about the same in a PSA 10. Probably the same position as well. I'll likely send these this week, maybe to PSA. Stop yapping about it. But I always said these launch exclusives are going to be really dope. You know, Ari card kind of has everything going for it. We got an overnumbered on this Ari 1300 Spirit Forged. Spirit Forged still doing really, really well. Trial decks, 2025 trial decks. A set is about $1,000. You know, I'm not sure about the 2025 trial decks. I mean, Project K is to me a little bit more interesting because it's earlier. It's just kind of like, to me, it's like base set unlimited in Pokemon or something. You know, it's like not first edition, but it's close. Um, I don't know. I think these are really, really cool. Obviously, a lot of the cards are being graded. Like every single card in every single trial deck is like being graded, and selling for a good bit. But I guess I'm more interested in Project K personally. We'll see. Unleash again doing really well. 175 here. I think you can get a little bit cheaper on TCG Player, but this box is just aging a little bit better with time. I don't regret not picking any up because we're still figuring out like how Riftbound is printing. Clearly they're going to be printing more in the future. I think that might be a better opportunity to pick some up. Riftbounds are super hot, so everything new is just going up in price until they can make more product, which, trust me, they will. And probably true for Spirit Forged. You know, still over $200. I think maybe closer to 180 on TCG Players. Seems like a pretty high sale here, but you know, sometimes there's just opportunity across markets in a smaller TCG where it's not as quite as efficient, and card stores are selling product for a bit lower. So, you know, I think my card store selling Spirit Forge around 180, not including tax, which is a decent price, but it's hard to stomach when I just bought a case at MSRP like a month and a half or 2 months ago. But Spirit Forge was a really phenomenal set, and the same is true for Origins. So I think with these sets, you know, they will be rotating out sooner than others. You know, set 10, which is, you know, we're looking at 2028, so I wouldn't like go super, super hard right now, but I think if you're picking up a good, you know, some boxes here and there for good price over time and just kind of DCAing it out, like you're probably going to do really well. As long as you're consistent. Obviously, Origins, I think, is the best of the bunch. You can find it a little bit cheaper. I don't know, 270, something like that. 260, 250 is kind of the last time I checked, but they're still trickling it out. So it doesn't feel like the impact is as great. And it takes months for them to print. You know, from what I've heard, about 6 months from deciding to actually getting boxes out to the market. It takes about that long. And by the time that happens, we'll you know, we have Radiance coming out. We have the Legacy set coming out. So who knows? Case is still selling for about $1,900. Obviously, you could pick up some loose boxes, but getting cases still a little bit difficult to do at the moment. But yeah, I think that kind of concludes everything that I wanted to talk about today. I still think there's a ton of opportunity in grading. That's probably where your priority should be on these promos. On these overnumbered, on these signatures. There's probably a little bit of value, even ripping here and there. But just kind of enjoy what's happening. And like I said, I think the roadmap looks really good. Pay attention to the player base. Player base is really healthy. The game is healthy. So it's just looking great long term. You know, the TCG market as a whole is kind of in a weird spot right now where, you know, some things are doing really well, but others are a little bit quiet. And crypto is starting to go up again. Who knows what'll happen, but I think as long as the fundamentals are good, you'll be in good shape. So obviously, we'll keep an eye on everything that's selling. And if there are plays out there, I will certainly let you know. At least what I'm doing. But I'm probably going to be picking up some more Yasuo promos. You know, let's just take a look on eBay right now. Listings. 223, 239. If I can be closer to $200 for sealed, like that's kind of where I want to be. So let me know y'all's thoughts down below. What are you doing? Are you excited for Riftbound? And if you like the channel, consider subscribing. I'd love to have you around. We're almost at 700, so pretty exciting. But yeah, guys, thank you again, and I will see you very soon in the next one. Goodbye.